being brainwashed. Brainwashed. If you wanna know what's really going on, search for the answers and question it.
Man, I love this song, man. It's a dope song.
Brainwashed.
Alright, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and kick off this live feed. While I guess people's gonna start pouring in when they get here. So anyways, guys, I want to kick off this feed real quick. Alright, after the Super Bowl last night, everything that we've been reading, throughout the day, everything that we witnessed, there's videos and pictures and, so much literature on, the Super Bowl. The Philly fans in Philadelphia, they weren't celebrating. Oh, they claimed they were celebrating, but that shit was a riot. Again, we're going to get into that real quick. But really quick, I want to start this broadcast off of one simple thing. And last night during the Super Bowl, that's when I learned, I don't know if it was out sooner than that. We hear about this Indiana Colt player that got into a car accident. He wasn't even really in a car accident, guys. They were pulled off to the side of the highway, and him and his buddy, they felt very sick, so they stepped out of the car to get some fresh air. And then next you know, a truck goes onto the shoulder, crashes into these people, and next you know, this football player ends up dead. Let me read into the article just to give you guys like a little heads up, a little sign of what happened. But the car crash that killed Indianapolis Colt player allegedly caused by undocumented immigrant. And this is the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this for 1 second. Because when I first heard about this, at first I thought it was a tragedy. And then I wake up this morning and they're starting to talk about that the accident was caused by an illegal immigrant. And, I went throughout the day before, I really looked into it until now. And guys, everything that I'm about to read to you guys, I'm going to go off into a little bit of story and tell you guys from my experience personally, how this affects people, okay? Yes, he was an illegal immigrant. Accidents happen every day. We get that. American families, American family members, they die from accidents every day. It's more sad when you have an illegal, undocumented immigrant that comes into this country and then he gets deported, breaking the law, and then gets shipped back. Or he comes back. And we've seen it back in the past. If you guys look at the murder that happened in San Francisco, that guy, the illegal immigrant that killed that woman, he was deported 5 or 6 times and he'd come back every time, letting him in. Then San Francisco decided to harbor him and all this. But anyways, guys, I really quick, I want to, really talk about this, that, they're saying that this guy fled on foot. Later on, the cops has caught him. Yes, sorry, Sam. We'll get to that here in a minute. So anyways, when I'm reading this article, guys, about the illegal immigrant that ran into this football player, killed him, fled on foot, cops, listen, back in 2000, I believe it was 2007, 2008, and I actually have a follower here in Facebook that was there when this has happened, so they can contest everything I'm about to tell you guys. And even one of my followers, I don't know if they're on the live feed now. Maybe as they watch the replay, they'll also know as well. But I was living in South Carolina, York County, which is just beside Rock Hill, South Carolina. And see, like it's been so long, but this is something that stuck with me. And reading this story has just straight up brought that moment back into my mind, okay? The memory of it. And what happened was, I didn't witness that accident, all right? I lived on this house. It was in the corner. And there was a road right beside it. I think it was, I can't remember, Arden Church or something like that. And it's a fairly busy road, it goes right up to the main street. A lot of people use this road to cut down. So anyways, there was neighborhoods off to the side of the place. There was houses spread throughout, sort of like a country setting, going into a suburb setting as well. A lot of children running around playing, a lot of teenagers out riding their bikes and stuff like that. One thing I do remember, guys, I was sitting there in the middle of playing. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Adna Church, that's right. And hence there's the individual that was there with me, that witnessed this. So anyways, we want to, these kids, they play, no one, kids are being kids. These teenagers decide to get on this dirt bike, and they're riding this dirt bike up and down the street, and I believe the kid was only like 13 years old. Okay, and everyone can always, oh, well, he should have been paying attention. I get that he could, but, still the whole moral of the story is messed up. I'm sitting down in my room, I'm playing the Xbox, and I'm not even paying attention to anything else. I hear a knock on the door, and I open the door, and my neighbors said, yo, we need to call 911. There was an accident that happened over there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look over at the corner, right at the corner. Again, my house is right there on the corner. It's the corner lot before this road. And there's just a group of people surrounded there. And I'm like, what happened? Someone get beat up? No, here what happened was there was a 13-year-old kid. He was out riding his dirt bike. And someone hit him. What's the real messed up part about this, guys, is not only did they hit him once, like they ran the kid over, okay? He felt the bop, had no idea what he hit. So instead of being, a smart person, getting out of the car to see what he hit, he put it in reverse, and when he went into reverse, he ran this kid over again. And then, when he finally realized what has happened, he kicked the truck in drive and ran the kid over again. 3 times running this kid over. Come to find out that this was an illegal, undocumented alien. And that's, at that point in time, you could feel the anger. I mean, I didn't know this kid. I didn't know him from Jack or Jill. But the fact of the matter is, here's another human being that's laying on the street. He's looking at these people for help. No one wants to touch him because they're afraid they're going to hurt him even more. So we're sitting there, we're waiting for the ambulance. And you just look at this kid, man, and you just sit there and think for a moment, like, this kid had everything. He was a 13-year-old kid. He had his whole life, ahead of him. And for this person, illegal or not, for this person to step out of his moral code and run for, because he was afraid of being detained and shipped back to where he was from, he wanted to just run, instead of stopping, checking out the kid, making sure the kid was okay. I'm sorry, take me away. I didn't mean to run him over. Make sure the kid's okay. No, he just 3 times, put it in drive, boom, 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 and gone. Thank God they caught the guy. But, I remember sitting there watching this kid, guys, and this has, even to this day, if I sit there and think about it too much, it really messes me up. Because you're sitting there, and as these things are going through your head about, all of this stuff that this kid had a chance to achieve, we watched him die right there on the street. He died before the paramedics got there. And that was, there was a lot of anger, a lot of confusion. I've never witnessed, not firsthand. No, not firsthand that. So it's just, illegal immigrants that's coming over here over and over and over, getting caught to, keep coming back, getting deported, getting caught back. And, the vicious cycle, it's got to stop. This was an American child where he should have felt safe in America. But, and I get it, this could have happened to anybody. This could have happened to, an American doing this to an American. We get that, But like I said, reading this story alone brought back those memories. How the illegal immigrant hit these people and ran, for fear of being deported. So, like, I'm reading that story, and all I can sit there is think, about this kid. And you see him laying on the ground, lifeless. He's breathing. But everyone's around him trying to talk to him, trying to tell the kid to hang on, help's coming. And we literally, man, about 2 minutes before a paramedic showed up, man, we sat there, we watched that kid take his last breath. And that was, if that don't affect you in any way, regardless of what you think or what you feel, man, to watch an innocent child get ran over, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and just for the person to run. Morally, I don't see how I would be able to sleep at night knowing that I had just ran over a child and ran, You know, I don't know, man. My inner self probably wouldn't have just let it happen, guys. I mean, like, just it was really a bad situation. So, and not only that, but as soon as that has happened, my family was really close with the family that this has happened to. It was actually pretty interesting, Ashley, if you remember. You know, my Uncle Tim did a lot of work for, you know, the guy that this guy owned a restaurant / bar in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, and come to find out that it was his nephew that this has happened to. So I remember talking to them about it, and then I say a year later, you know, the one son took it really hard, you know, really started using drugs, got into a real bad depression, and then he ended up killing himself. The family ended up getting a divorce. He sold off his... I mean, like, this one thing, you know, had a chain reaction that destroyed an American life, an American dream. So, you know, it's really sickening. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not going to use this story as an avocation to, we need better security walls. We need to find a better way to make these people, you know, legit. Or at least feel sorry for what they've done. You know, that was someone's mother, or that was someone's son. That was someone's brother. Whether or not he was a football star or not. You know, again, we go back to, you know, my experience, Ashley's. The river rat, yes, okay, so Pat Skrpak knows exactly of the area that we're at. Thank you, Pat, thank you. But, you know, like I said, just reading that story, you know, it really brought, you know, that whole memory, you know, something that I've tried to not suppress, but, you know, keep in the back of my mind. You know, it's something that's going to be a part of with me till the day that I die. And like I said, I mean, we sat there and watched, after what, you know, hearing about this dude running this kid over 3 times and then bailing, and then us laying on, you know, out in the street watching this kid take his last breath. That was pretty hard. You know, that was hard. So anyways, guys, we're going to get into some other news, guys. As you guys know, last night, Philly, New England, it was football day. It was Super Bowl. And I will be perfectly honest with you guys. I haven't watched a single fucking game for any team this season. Why? Because I was on the bandwagon with everyone else. You know, I'm not going to show respect to any football team or anyone that does, you know, that wants to kneel against the national anthem. But with it being Super Bowl, you know, me wanting to run my own news network channel or whatnot, you know, I had to watch it just to bring breaking news. We know with everything that's been going on with, you know, with the FISA memo, with David Nunes memo that's come out, talking about how corrupted the FBI may be, and then finding out about the extreme security measures that was going to be happening at the Super Bowl, with the FBI included, you know, plus the protesting and all that. You know, I really wanted to bring stuff breaking to you guys live in the moment, so I did. I watched the game. Now, I will be honest, guys, my kids, you know, I try to keep my kids out of it. You know, if they want to watch the football game, let them. They asked me that, who are we going for? We go for Cleveland Browns, right? I said, yeah, we do go for Cleveland Browns, but Cleveland's not playing. They're like, okay, well, if you had to go through one team, what do you want to see? And I said, well, honestly, Philly. I want to see Philly win it. Why? Because, you know, it's not that I don't think that Tom Brady and the Patriots are cheaters. It's more a fact that Brady and them has their time. You know, here's a team that's been the underdog. You know, I always go for the underdogs. And it was definitely a Cinderella story for them. Not only for that, but if you guys watched the Super Bowl, they talked about Philly Phil. He was a 99-year-old man. He's been a fan of the Phillies ever since the very beginning, since Philadelphia Eagles became the Phillies back in the 30s. And the only thing he's ever wanted was for the Eagles to have one championship game. And sure enough, they rushed him to that game. He was sitting there. Phillies won the championship. Congratulations. But hold on. Now, that's the good side. Philly worked their ass off to bring home their very first Super Bowl championship to Philadelphia. Philadelphia and the community decided to one-up it. You know, instead of, you know, being, you know, hey, you know what, let's be the center poster of what a good community is supposed to be like. No. They want to show the negative. And what I say by that, guys, is, you know, there's a fine line. And try to understand me when I say this. There is a very, very, very fine line when we are celebrating and when we are rioting. For the ones of you guys that don't know nothing about that, I posted some videos on, I took some videos that was being posted on, and I shared it on my wall of some of these protests. One of them is where a group of people, actually a mob, I should say, a mob of people was in a convenience store, you know, throwing food all over the place. Another one showed a couple people flipping cars over. A couple people were standing on an awning. And this is karma for the stupidness of these people. You know, again, we're here to celebrate, not riot. You know, there's a big difference. You know, they're standing on some kind of awning, and first off, I mean, there had to have been like 20 of these people standing on there, and you just watch the whole thing collapse, and the whole audience goes, like, hello, y'all didn't think that was going to fucking happen? Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And then, you know, and the person that's holding the camera, they're like, oh my God, I got that, cuz. I got that. And then you got this one man, he's up on a pole shaking, and you hear people say, knock it down, knock it down. He's just shaking, and the whole lamppost falls down. Guys, that's not a celebration. That's a riot. Again, like I said, Philadelphia, they're bringing back the very first Super Bowl championship back to Philly. But Philadelphia community gets to show that it's ignorant as fuck. Hey, you know what? When Cleveland, don't get me wrong, all right? Cleveland, we had a celebration here in Cleveland this year for the football team. Granted, our celebration was a little different. We have the best losing record this season with no wins at all. Oh, yeah, that was a celebration. We had a parade downtown Cleveland for that. We didn't destroy our communities. If anything, Cleveland should have been the one out there destroying their cities for losing every match. Give me 1 second. But, you know, here's the thing. I mean, like, everyone, these people are probably not even going to get in trouble, okay? They're going to be having a parade in Philadelphia. And all these fans are going to be sitting there, you know, cheering them on and whatnot. I'm just sitting there wondering, like, how is it that these fans are able to even be there cheering for a team that brought home their very first Super Bowl if you guys were out a couple nights ago rioting and tearing up your own community? And you guys wonder, Daniel, imagine if they lost. Yeah. You know, the chats are starting to go crazy. But anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I got chat going on over here on YouTube. I got chat going on Facebook. But seriously, all these people were rioting and protesting, and now you want to be the city that represents world champions in football. But guess what? Their own community riots their own fucking cities. Like, real talk, that wasn't a celebration. That was a poor-ass excuse to go around and destroy shit. Alright, like I said, you pick up a car, you flip a car over, there's a $40,000 SUV gone. You know, you're breaking windows, you're in stores looting and throwing everything. And yes, it does go with any sports team. Philly took it to a whole new level. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. You can go back into any major celebrations in downtown cities. There has been celebrations. There has been a few, you know, lawless acts. Not like Philly. Philly went off the fucking ham. It's sort of like I was kind of watching a sports theater act of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They were out there destroying their community, not actually trying to be like, hey, you know what, we're better than everyone. Let's just go be like everyone else, every other city in the nation, and let's go riot and protest. Why? Because, oh, fuck it, because our football team won. I don't know. I mean, that's just an excuse. And, you know, I got to give credit where due, guys. Last night when I was watching it, you know, I was watching the game. One thing I was really anxious on, I had my phone on, I had it charged. I was getting ready to go live because just in case when Pink started singing the national anthem, I was going to go live for a minute and show all the football players that were kneeling. And I have to say, guys, I'm very, very, very proud that, granted, there's plenty of evidence showing that kneelers were on both sides of the field. Okay, I get that. But they kept it out of the Super Bowl. And a lot of people, you know, not only me, but there's a lot of people like me as well. They're proud of the players. But, you know, there's a whole side of the story that a lot of people's thinking that the only reason why they did that was because they were told not to by Joe Goodell to not protest. Because you know why? Because they want to try to save the system. And basically what I'm saying is, like, if they can take Super Bowl and make it a success and they can keep politics out of it, maybe it'll save next year. But I want to say that with the way that this season has went and the way the disrespect, and guys, I'm not saying this just as myself. I mean, I see it in a lot of Americans, you know, in this nation that just simply won't watch the game anymore because of kneelers. You know, I agree 100% with it. I'm not going to give these guys time of day. you know, if they won't stand for a flag. You guys have 100% right to go out and protest and stand up for your beliefs. You don't do it at the football game. All right, we go all day, all week long. We have to deal with politics and ignorant fucking people in our lives doing shit throughout the week. Come the weekend, man, that's Americans' holiday for football, especially during football season. It didn't matter if you was a Democrat, a Republican, a liberal, a trans, part of the LGBT community, Black Lives Matter. Y'all were watching that football game. All right, it didn't matter. That was one thing here in this nation that would actually put all bullshit to the side. Everyone would come back together for once. All right, and then they wanted to start protesting that, you know, let's take a knee or let's put our fist up. You know, and again, like I said, you guys have every right to do that, but I seriously don't think that it should have been on the field. Don't put politics in the game. You know, if you really wanted to make a difference, you know, you guys millionaires, you know, go out to your community. And I will say that there are, you know, the NFL does do some charitable work. All right, we seen the trophy be passed out before yesterday's game, you know, about excellent work from football players off the field to its community. But all these protesters that are sitting there protesting, you know, police brutality and stuff like that, you have the right to protest. I get that, but not during our national anthem. If you don't like America that much, man, go out there and do something to change it. You know, don't just go make your millions of dollars and then use that as a platform just to talk your shit. All right, that's nah. And again, we've seen it plenty of times. Again, I don't know how many of you guys noticed it, but the NFL ratings all throughout the season were tanking. They were losing. So you know, picture it this way, guys. Imagine the NFL being a restaurant. Okay, and I watched Pete Santelli's show this morning, and this is how he put it out in simple terms for even the average American to understand this. Imagine you running a restaurant. You've had a restaurant for 100 years, very successful restaurant. And then, you know, you walk up to this family that's sitting there eating your food, and they're giving you good reviews, and you whip your dick out, and you just start pissing on the food. Of course, that's going to piss your people off. But then you come out as a public statement saying, sorry, it was an accident, we'll never do that again. I really don't think that's the case, guys. I mean, that is the case. What I don't think it is, I don't think that the NFL is going to be able to recover from the damage of that. They lost a lot of trust with its American people. There's still plenty of diehard fans. I get it. I got a lot of friends here on Facebook and on YouTube and elsewhere around the world that are NFL players. Or not NFL players, but NFL fans. And they'll watch it regardless. I get it. I get it. You know, that's fine if you guys want to sit there and watch the game. But me personally, as patriotic as I am, you disrespect our flag, I'm not going to watch you. I'm not even going to pay you no mind. All right, to me, that's almost a terrorist act, and it is what it is. But like I said, you go off, you know, you pee on these people's cups, and then you come back with a public, you know, statement. I'm sorry. I think the damage is already done. I don't think just because you decided to keep the kneelers out of the Super Bowl, I don't think that's going to, resurrect the idea of what the NFL stood for. I really don't. I think this one thing really damaged NFL's credibility when it comes to the nation. And like I said, guys, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I love football, man. I love, the pastimes that we've had here in American sports. I mean, even here in America, I was born and raised with Chief Wahoo as our mascot to the Cleveland Indians. And now they're trying to take Wahoo away. Actually, they are going to take Wahoo away. I remember this being talked about a couple years ago. All because, it's not politically correct to a few select people. And I'm pretty sure you guys can assume which politically correct people we're talking about here. But what's good for one is good for all. I've said this too back in the past, guys. When we talk about, if you guys remember, really, when I really started kicking up, I was mainly on just YouTube. All right, I was on YouTube and I was sharing my videos on Facebook. And one of the videos I talked about, with all these Black Lives Matter and Antifa thugs wanting to go out and remove these Confederate flags and monuments, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, guys. You want to remove this one, but leave these ones up, You got to take it all as a whole, guys. If the Indians got to lose their mascot, well, you know what? Every franchise should also, that represents something that's just as racist as they claim it to be, then I think every franchise has to remove it. There's plenty of them. The Redskins. Look at Florida Seminoles. Pat Skirpack. We was talking about this in a chat earlier, and I even sent him a link with a list, and I really wish I had the list up here, but there's multiple teams in this nation that have a symbol mascot representing this diverse small few, Indians. So if the Indians are going to do it just to please a few other, I really hope the other nation's going to follow suit, because what's good for one is good for the others. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with it. And Fighting Irish, yes. CJ over there on YouTube has just said Fighting Irish. Notre Dame, they're going to be taking their little Irish guy away from themselves. Same as Boston Celtics. I mean, guys, everything that we've learned to love American culture. All right, Pat just pulled me up the link. I'm sorry, Pat. I'm in the middle of the live feed. I can't. Pat, if you could share that link on the Facebook, that'd be great. Yeah, or even no. Gamecocks has nothing to do with it. That's a damn bird. But bird lives matter too. But anyways, I just don't agree with it, guys. I think leave Chief Wahoo alone. All right. Again, we give the Indians, they got casinos and tobacco plants, and we give them everything. Why do we have to change our fucking stance? I don't know. Again, maybe I'm being racist. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt feelings. But anyways, guys, let's move on to the next thing. A couple days ago, I brought out how February 8th, you guys have to keep an eye out for February 8th. Does anyone know what's going on February 8th? Does anyone have any clue on February 8th? Pat, thank you for posting that link in the comment section. For anyone that's on Facebook that wants to look at the list of professional franchises that harbor Indian logos, please go ahead, read that article in its entirety. Okay, CJ says that she knows what's going on February 8th. Does anyone on Facebook knows what's going on February 8th? Quiet, Cindy, I see you. So I shouldn't even ask you, because you already know this stuff. Because you and I, we spend all day talking about it. All right, February 8th is the deadline to the extension for the DACA deal for the government shutdown. If you guys remember back when the government shut down, they passed an extension to keep the government open until February 8th, to where they had to make a deal on DACA. Now, you guys know the rhetoric that's going on between DACA, Democrats, Republicans, President Trump coming out State of the Union saying that he's willing to give amnesty to, I think, a couple thousand DACA recipients in a 12-year period, but it has to include the wall. Democrats don't want that. You guys remember right after that little pretty boy Joe Kennedy, the one that had the stains all over his lips, he come out and said, Mr. Trump, you build that wall, my generation will be the one to tear it down. That right there shows you that Democrats have no interest in wanting a wall. Republican John McCain, you guys know McCain, he's coming out. He has a deal for Trump, but it doesn't have the wall in it as well. So they're definitely working hard to try to come up with a deal. I don't think that it's going to happen. I think that we're still going to see a government shutdown. And it's all going to be, again, Democrats wanting to choose illegal immigrants over the American culture. Now, I don't know if there's going to be some kind of blockades in place to actually, if it shuts down, will our military members still be getting paid? I don't know yet. Like I said, this is just something that's what's been going on lately in the political scheme, with everything that we know about the memo being released. The Democrats, guys, I just found out earlier today, I want to say a couple hours ago, that the Democrats now has their version of the memo in the House. It's getting ready to be voted on. Members of Congress from the Republicans and Democrats are reading it, and they're getting ready to release that. But David Nunes said that there are 5 other memos that he's wanting to release. So, this whole bickering back and forth that's going on with, DACA, Democrats, Republicans, I really don't see it getting resolved by February 8th. So we may very well be finding ourselves here very, very soon in another government shutdown. And again, they have to come up to a deal with DACA. And I don't really see DACA getting a deal on. I don't see them coming together with it. So, it's really interesting what's just pay attention to what's going on that front up till February 8th. All right, so anyways, guys, really quick, as I'm getting ready to hop off here, I got some very exciting news for you guys. And you guys know me, I give credit where it's due. I got to give credit to my buddy, again, Pat Skirpak, Mr. Skirpak. Some of you guys know him personally, some of you guys don't. I used to work with this guy, man. This guy's, he's a good dude. He's in Florida right now. He's visiting his daughter. Pat, hope you're having a good time, man. Appreciate it. You deserve it. But anyways, I really want to give a shout out to him. What we're going to do, if you guys noticed earlier today, Pat shared a article on my Facebook about the SpaceX program. And then a couple days ago, I posted a video on my channel or on my feed about SpaceX program as well. Well, tomorrow, the rocket goes off into space. They're gearing up for the space launch. Pat is actually in the area where they are going to fire out this rocket. Pat has decided that he would love to go live on my network here on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him my login information. I think anywhere, Pat, last time I seen it was like 1:30. Where, you know, they have a 3-hour window between 1:30 and I think 4:30 or something like that to blast this off. I don't know exactly what time it is, but tomorrow at some point you guys will see a live feed, and it's not going to be me, it's going to be Pat. He's going to be on the ground and he's going to witness this rocket launch, and he's going to bring it to you guys live. Yeah, 1:30 is the target, correct. You're right. So, you know, yeah, Pat come out to me and he said, man, let me, you know, can we go live on your network for this? And I said, dude, that's amazing. You know, that's cool. You know, because one, it's something that I think everyone would like to see. And two, that we're able to do it live. You know, that I have someone there that's willing to reach out and help me out. Pat, you know, one thing Pat's always said to me, Pat told me back in the day that you know, I fell through, you know, every motherfucker wants to keep knocking each other down, but no one wants to help the next motherfucker help each other out. Well, Pat, you know, prime example of that, you know, I'm going to help you out, dude. He's in location. He's going to go live for us in Florida when this rocket goes off so you guys can see it happen as well. If you guys don't know anything about the rocket launch, please click on some of the articles. And then you can even just go into Google and type in SpaceX. I think it's Tulsa Heavy, the heavy rocket. There's an article that lets you guys know that we're basically getting ready to test a new space vehicle. You know, no doubt is it very interesting what we're about to witness. And again, we're going to be there live. We have a correspondent, Pat Skirpak. He's going to be on the ground for us. And then Pat, when Pat goes live here on Facebook, I'm going to copy the encryption code for the video and then try to put it onto YouTube as well so he could be live in both locations. So again, stay tuned. I hope you guys will like that. Me and Pat, we're going to be in contact. Anything that goes on, I'll make sure I keep you guys updated as well. So between 1:30 Eastern and 4:30, check back and forth for live feeds. Even if you guys don't see it live, I'll keep the video up afterwards so you guys can come back and see it then. Alright, so I got to give shout out to Pat Skirpak for doing this. Much love, brother. I appreciate it. You don't know what that means to me over here at the Ellis Network for bringing something live to you guys. Alright, so I'm going to hop off the video. I appreciate you guys hanging out for a minute. This is just something that I wanted to talk about. We're going to be bringing some live guests. Yes. We are getting ready to actually open up a part. You know, I got to do some rearranging, but I'm going to start having friends come over when we go live and have a discussion. So I hope you guys like what you guys are doing. If you guys want to leave any comments or opinions, things that you guys think I could do better, please. Any criticisms, better. Alright, so please inbox me, comment. It's all cool. I'm only here to help you guys understand. You guys will help me out better by realizing what I'm doing wrong or what you guys may want to see. And, you know, we can work together. Alright, guys, so I appreciate you guys watching. Again, I'm sorry for taking up 35 minutes of your times. And I'm going to go out here and hang out for a little while. Alright, guys. Later.